Hi everybody, today's tip is inspired by a book I just read called Performance Under Pressure. So this book I really liked for a couple of different reasons. The first is that it really highlighted for me the difference between stress and pressure that I want to share with you. I'd always kind of known that stress can be kind of a positive motivator. A deadline kind of got me more focused. Stretch challenge was very, very motivating and really provided an opportunity to learn. So I always kind of had a love-hate relationship with stress. I knew that it was useful to me in some ways, but then sometimes I would feel overwhelmed. And I often kind of wondered, is it because it's prolonged? Is it because is it just the sheer volume of stress? Why is it that sometimes I would feel like a heightened performance state and other times I would feel really, really drained and actually less smart, for lack of a better way of describing it, just less able to perform the tasks at hand or bring my best self to that particular task. And this book really clarified that for me because he really talks about the differences between stress and pressure and how they're related, but that stress can often be good, especially if you see it as challenging or a learning opportunity or a growth opportunity. It can actually increase your blood flow to your brain and really lighten up those really, really important decision-making areas of your brain. So stress can be really good that way. And basically he highlights that pressure is pretty much always bad. Pressure puts all of your body's energy around survival, which is your fight, flight, or flee. Or freeze, I think it is. So that is basically where you are robbing your resources, your higher level resources from yourself because you've kind of triggered this state, this survival state. And it was very interesting for me to reflect on how he defines how stress can turn into pressure and how we both do it to ourselves and probably to other people. And so the characteristics that he uses to sort of say when does stress become pressure is pretty interesting. The first is that it's gotten a heightened level of importance, almost an exaggerated heightened level of importance. This particular task, we've attached such importance to us that it's like our life depends on it. The second is uncertainty. So the degree to which it could go either way. So the degree to which the task is important and that success is so important, and then secondly, that it could go either way, starts to sort of stimulate the pressure cooker inside of us. The third is that it's very personalized and it's very judgment oriented. So basically, we believe that the outcome will deeply impact other people's judgment of us, our self-worth, etc. So it's totally tied to our self-worth. And I guess the fourth is around, the consequences, that the consequences are dire. So this importance, uncertainty, judgment, and consequences combination is really what can turn stress into pressure. But if you allow yourself to get caught up in a task that really shouldn't be pressure, that you actually did, it's detrimental to your performance. So how do you do that? The way I've put this into practice is you have to look at the task and you have to say, is this really worthy of pressure? Is it so important, this one task? Is it really do or die? Things like, is it really that uncertain, or can I plan a whole bunch of different maneuvers? For instance, if they hate my pricing, then what could I do? If they hate my contract, then what could I do? So how much uncertainty is there really? And trying to make sure that you kind of check yourself there. The judgment, is it personal judgment only to me, or is it the team, or is it my organization? Are we overplaying the judgment and the attachment to our self-worth? Is this really all who I am? All I am is whether or not I win this deal, as an example. So I think that is another thing. And then understanding that you'll have many more opportunities. This is rarely one and done. So I think the first counsel from the book is really don't let yourself talk yourself into a pressure cooker, and don't get your people, use messaging with your people that takes them out of stress, challenge, growth, opportunity, and into survival mode. That's tip number one. And then the second section of the book is all about, if you really are in pressure, if you really, really are on the stand in a courtroom and you're either going to be sentenced with a horrible crime or not based on your ability to perform under pressure. In those severe situations, he gives a lot of tactics on how to kind of manage yourself in those pressure situations. And this was helpful for me. There's a lot of different tactics. In fact, I'll put a few of the key ones up here that have been publicly shared. The tip I wanted to take you guys through today, though, was my personal one. And that is when I really feel like the stakes are high, uncertain about my performance, I really feel like it's really tied to a bit of my self-worth, and I really want to do a good job, and I've gotten myself into highly aroused, stressful / pressure situation. The one that I have personally used, I call awe. and wonder. I'll just give you the specific situation. The last time I used this was I was giving a presentation to a couple thousand people. And I was giving this presentation in French, which is my second language. And that morning I'd woken up and I was very ill, and I'd taken some cold medication to get me there, but I knew that I wasn't at the top of my game, and it was I was nervous. I was very, very nervous. And I knew that being nervous would not be helpful. It would not heighten my performance. So I decided that I was just going to use my awe and wonder tactic. And my awe and wonder tactic, it's a little bit of a spin on gratitude, is that I walked into the room and I just decided that I was going to be in awe of everything I saw. So the first people I saw were people I worked with that were lovely and amazing people. Everybody looked really sharp because it was a nice event. The room was beautiful. The ice water was super cold. There was a good feeling of camaraderie in the room. And I just sat there soaking up sort of everything that was beautiful. And even when moments before I had to get up for my portion of the presentation, I was even grateful for my chair, grateful for my shoes, grateful for, whatever I could come up with. And it really helps keep you in sort of this very grounded, what a beautiful opportunity state, and grateful for the opportunity. I think that keeps you out of pressure and in distress. So I hope that tip was helpful. I will, if you click on the link below and subscribe to my newsletter, you'll get the job aid for this. And I really wish you guys a fantastic week. And I hope that you will this week remind yourself whether you're in pressure or stress and be the best person you can be. Thanks. Bye.